Prime Minister Netanyahu's statement this morning, to Israel regarding the missile attack last night by Iran needs to be set in context. His statement, "The forces of light in the world must unite and work together against the Ayatollah's dark regime, which is the source of terror and evil in our region," invokes a stark moral contrast between good and evil, light and dark. And this framing is typical in political rhetoric during times of conflict, especially when seeking to solidify alliances and portray a common enemy in absolute terms. But such a binary framing risks oversimplifying the complexity of the regional dynamics. Iran's regime, while authoritarian and linked to militant groups like Hezbollah and Hamas, is not the only actor in the region engaging in contentious military activity, nor is it the sole source of instability. Historical grievances, political fragmentation, and foreign intervention play significant roles as well. And I was saying earlier, the meddling of Mr. Putin could explain a great deal. Furthermore, Netanyahu's emphasis on Iran as the source of terror and evil obscures the broader network of power struggles in the Middle East, where other state and non-state actors, including Saudi Arabia and various militia groups, contribute to ongoing violence and instability. The designation of the Iranian government as the primary antagonist may be politically expedient, but overlooks the role of long-standing regional grievances and the competing interests of major powers such as Russia and the United States. The claim that the forces of light must unite reflects a call for international alignment against Iran, similarly to the sort of calls which took place during the Cold War. This is Cold War rhetoric. And this appeal can be criticized as problematic given the often inconsistent application of international law and human rights in this region. While Israel tries to defend itself against missile attacks, an unquestionable right, by the way, there are legitimate concerns about its treatment of Palestinians, including the expansion of settlements and military actions in Gaza. The notion of moral clarity is less certain when the broader context of the Israeli-Palestinian tensions is factored into the argument, the concerns. Netanyahu's assertion that Iran made a big mistake and it will pay for it has the tone of a President Trump statement. It underscores Israel's commitment to retaliation, certainly. And this rhetoric can be criticized for perpetuating a cycle of violence where each side escalates in response to the other. While self-defense is a legitimate state prerogative, continued military retaliation leads to further destabilization in the region without addressing the root causes of conflict, such as territorial disputes, ideological divides, and mutual distrust. What is clear is that the military initiative of Israel against Hezbollah in the last 2 weeks has been astonishing and impressive, but not necessarily the right thing to have done. And of course, if you start looking at the debates within the Israeli parliament, it's the Hezbollah initiative, which is what so many of the hawks in the Israeli cabinet wanted altogether. And you look down to the Gaza situation, you have to recognize the objectives have not been achieved. Netanyahu's statement reflects a clear narrative of moral clarity and imminent retribution, but that clarity is false. While this rhetoric serves domestic and international political purposes, it risks oversimplifying the region's complex geopolitical realities. It may contribute to further violence without addressing the underlying issues. The path forward requires not only a military response, but also careful diplomatic responses, and those don't seem to be in play, to address the deep-rooted causes of regional instability, and a two-state solution for Palestine is absolutely overdue and necessary. But as I look at this from the peace of the English countryside, I can't help but thinking, right in the past there was the Yom Kippur War, and now suddenly there is the Rosh Hashanah War. It's this cycle of endless conflict around Israel needs to end.